Hi everybody, how are you all doing today, baby whales? It is now Tuesday, February the 20th. It's about 5 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Canada, and we're going to go over Bitcoin. So it's been pretty interesting what's been going on. I'm going to pull up my account here. So let's talk about the daily chart. We're going to go over Bitcoin, and I'm going to try to keep it fairly short this one because there's not too much of an update. We're at a standstill right now. If you guys love these videos, I would appreciate an upvote on Steemit, and you can also make sure you like and subscribe the material as well. Be sure to follow me on all three social media platforms there, on YouTube, Twitter, excuse me there, and on Steemit, because I like to post various materials that can add insight to your learning, and especially to your game as well for crypto. I keep a blog on Steemit there where you'll find a lot of useful information with general bias and especially charts in case you're missing my tweets. Because I tweet a lot, there's a good chance that people will miss some of the tweets, right? And you'll find all the charts and goodies there. On Twitter, you'll find my general thoughts and humor. And on YouTube, you'll of course find all the videos on there. So let's start off with the daily and see where we are at 12 hours into the day now. So we were getting a lot of resistance, as we can tell, right here on the daily between the 55 EMA. And we're definitely staying well above the 21, 8, and 13, especially right now. So for the bulls, we're going to look at it from both the bulls and bear scenario. I think it's important to acknowledge both perspectives and be very neutral when I do my analysis from now on. This way, I'm not only appeasing one side, and we have a general idea of what the bulls and bears can expect. So ideally, what we would like is, for the bulls, a crossover. We would like a crossover where the yellow moving average right here, the 55, will actually be below all of these supporting lines right there. So this is what a bull run will look like. This is what a bull run will look like, where it goes from the 8, the 13, the 21, and the 55 moving average, where it starts to fan out. That's what I call it. I call it fanning out, and it's specifically for my 55 moving average strategy, which you guys should make sure that you go see and visit on Steemit there or on YouTube, because I talk about these types of strategies in high detail. So just as an example, for a bull run, let's say you ended up buying it at what price here? Let's talk about this. Let's say you ended up buying Bitcoin at, when would it have started here? All right. Let's say you bought Bitcoin right here. You bought Bitcoin at $1,000, okay? You bought Bitcoin at $1,000 because it started to fan out, where the yellow moving line was below all of them. And you say to yourself, okay, I'm only going to sell Bitcoin after buying it at 1K range here, when the yellow line is now above it. So right here, just as an example, right here, we got a slight crossover, but not quite. So when the yellow line is now above all of them and the other lines start to switch, that is when you would sell it after buying it in 1K. So you would have wrote it. You would have wrote it. Wouldn't have sold it yet. Nope, not yet. Here you might have considered selling it right there, right? But because the yellow line is not officially below it yet, you would have held strong in case there was an uptrend still. Does that make sense, right? So this minimizes your potential to take profit too early. So because the yellow line is still not below all of it, it's still in the middle here, you do not sell it. You just keep riding it. Keep riding it. Let's see where we get to. Did we cross over? No, we didn't actually. We almost did, but it didn't quite come to above all of them yet. So you're still going to ride it. You're going to wait for the yellow line to be above all of them. All of them. Not just one, but all. And no, not yet. Here, you would have sold it right there, okay? You would have sold it at 12K, and then as soon as it starts to reverse again, excuse me, where the yellow line is above it, actually, yeah, right here, that's where you could have sold it, actually. So, you know, you could have caught the top there. Of course, it would have been nice to sell at the 18K range, but I'm just talking about a general strategy that can guarantee that you don't take profit too early. I mean, you could have sold it at 2K, you could have sold it at 3K, right? And you would have regretted it. So this guarantees that a lot of profit was being taken, and that's why, as you can see, when the 55 moving average, people were anticipating a crossover there, so they started dumping it. So now what we're hoping for from the bull side is that in a few days, 2 days, 3 days, that's what I'm looking for mainly. That is, if we actually end up crossing over where the yellow line is now below all of these lines, I will be very bullish actually for the next few weeks. And I will actually add a lot to my position, or sorry, not add a lot. I will definitely want to consider going into a long position for swinging. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up getting a massive bull run after. So these are some key things to look out for there. Let's go talk about CoinMarketCap quickly. Give me a second, I'm going to pull it up. Let's see where we're at. So CoinMarketCap right now, we're at about $507 billion. We're down from about 530 in the past few, I think 2 days or so. Let's take a look at the 24-hour volume. We still cannot break the $10 billion volume 24 hours. That's a significant number for us to break. For example, on the 2nd, on the 6th, we're breaking 10s, right? January 22nd, breaking 10s. And yesterday, we actually finished at a pretty low volume at 7.6 billion compared to the 2 days before, about 8.7 billion, which is exactly what we're at right now. We're at about 4.74% increase, which is awesome, actually. So these three candles right here were lots of indecision, where we were facing resistance around the 11,250 range, and we finally broke it. The volume's got 12 hours to go, and it seems like we're going to be on pace as we were yesterday at about the 12K range. The histogram is starting to flatten out right here. I'm just pointing out some signs that I see. So it's starting to flatten out, meaning we're facing some resistance in terms of the histogram parabolically moving up. See, on the 6th right here, guys, we started to parabolically move up with these staircases, right? And now we're going up pretty heavily. So let's look at it was going up heavily, but now it's flattening out is what I'm saying. The RSI right here, if I just started to draw some of the lines that connected it, right, we can see that it's definitely curving like this, meaning that in a few days, we could be looking at a reversal, or we could be looking at a parabolic move up as well. It really depends. Here, what we're finding that this is a resistance on the 12-hour chart. So I always like to play this game of I spy with my little eye, just to point out some signs. And what we try to do as traders is try to look for more signs that lean towards one direction than the other. Let's go to, on the 12-hour chart, what we can see is that it's about to cross over, right? In about 12 hours or 1 day, we're going to be most likely seeing a crossover, I'm hoping, for a bull run. On the 6-hour chart right here, what we're seeing is indecision. I think this candle, let's see what time the candle formed at. This will be at 6. Sorry, I'm just taking a look at the time here. That was at 6, this was at midnight. Yeah, okay, so 1 more hour to go on this candle right here. And we're actually getting a bearish spinning top already. A bearish spinning top is a candle. Let me see if I have it on my desktop here to show you guys. So a bearish spinning top is like this one right there. A bearish spinning top indicates a lot of indecision in the market, but it also implies that the bulls are slowly starting to lose control as well. Let me just get these back on here. I got too many monitors. I like to keep my desktops very clean. Where's my IOTA one? There we go. If you guys don't know about this Chrome extension, you guys really need to download it. It's called Open as Pop-up, okay? Open as Pop-up. And let me just show you what a basic one looks like over here. So if you guys look at a normal browser, right, you see the address bar, you see a lot of these bookmarks, and if you look right here, this is called Open as Pop-up window. You can just go to Chrome and Chrome extensions and type that in there, and you'll be able to get that extension. So what it does is it makes all these the address bar and the toolbars pretty much disappear, so you can keep a very nice window opened here. It saves a lot of real estate space, put it that way. Whether you're using 24 inches or 27 inches, it's definitely going to be a very awesome tool for you guys to have. See, notice how clean my windows are, and all my monitors are exactly the same way as well. So I think you guys are going to love this toolbar, or this Chrome extension if you get it. Make sure you guys have a very clean window. I always keep mine crystal clear clean. Okay, let's go back to here. So this bearish spinning top is definitely in play. on the 6-hour chart with 1 hour to go. Now, it doesn't mean that a reversal is going to happen, but if I do look at the 6-hour chart, what I am seeing right now is bearish signs of divergence right here, right? We're getting a massive peak from the last one. Who knows? It might just come down and go back up again, but there's no doubt in my mind that we're seeing a lower high on the 12-hour chart, right? We bounced off of this support right over here around the 50, 60 ranges though. Now we're positively upticking again onto the histogram, right? So we came down very low. Now we're positively upticking there. If I actually take my histogram from all of these dates, from the entire uptrend, what I see is a resistance on the histogram. So we might just take up a little bit more, then come back down. That's very likely as well. Let's go look at the 3-hour chart now. If you guys notice here on the 6-hour chart, this is the supporting moving average, 13. 13 is a heavy support right now, and right now we're not even touching the 8. So we are still very bullish, and there are a lot of mixed signals in the market. But if we look at the 3-hour chart, since February the 19th there, how many hours is that now? Let me double check. Since midnight, so about 24 plus 5. So for the past 30 hours about, we were supported heavily above the 8 moving average only, which is really bullish, right? So a good time to have entered a trade would have been about $10,700 there. Wonderful time to enter, because then you would have confirmed a bounce above the 8 moving average. And a lot of people probably entered in that trade there, I'm guessing. If we look on the 3-hour chart, we're getting a series of rejection candles now that's slowly starting. We get this doji at the top, followed by kind of a bearish spinning top, or even a shooting star, right? Or even you can call it I don't like to call it an inverted hammer, but that's pretty much what it looks like, right? An inverted hammer is specifically at the downtrend position where there's a bull wick to the upside but gets rejected because people are starting to show a lot of interest. But in this particular case here, what it looks like is a shooting star almost, where there's a wick up, not as high. A shooting star would have a very long wick, but this one is pretty decent, right? Bulls are starting to lose control here, and then this one here, it could be a mixed signal as well, where it could be mistaken for a doji. See this wick coming down? It's now finally poking through the 8 moving average and also the 13 moving average right here as well. So we're definitely being able to poke through one of these moving averages now, which also starts to show that the downtrend is not imminent, but the bears are starting to regain control and people are taking profit. If we look at, for example, the 1-hour chart, since for the past 30 hours as well, we were supported well above the 13 moving average right here. Now we're finally poking through the 21 moving average even, right? Tried to poke through the 21 moving average, but there's a large dragonfly doji, which ended up poking downwards. Now this is the mixed signal right here on the 1-hour chart. We get a tweezer bottom, which implies that the bulls have regained control, right? The bears have attempted to push down through 2 candles, but the bulls have rejected them by pushing it back up. Hence the tweezer. Think of tweezers like, normal tweezers, right? But what concerns me for the bulls is that the volume is dying off. I mean, if you look at this previous candle, it's actually half of the other one over there. If you look at this candle right now with 30 minutes to go, or 45 minutes to go, it's about a quarter, so that's looking okay. On the RSI, it's bearishly diverging though, so we're getting lots of mixed signals. That's bearish divergence right there. But if we look at the support, right, this is my key support to be looking at for RSI. If you guys notice, since the 19th, for the past 30 hours about, we were on this massive bull run where every time it got to here, boom, it bounced, right? Boom, it bounced. Here, it didn't even get close to it. Here, it didn't really bounce with much conviction. So everybody is probably on the edge of their seat right now, just waiting to see if it's going to bounce or not off of this RSI for the RSI traders out there. If we look on the histogram, it finally started to downtick, right? It started to downtick since all the way up there, down, coming down, and we finally reached the negative in the past few hours. We haven't reached the negative side of the histogram for a very long time now. So the question is, will this just curve upwards? Everybody's probably watching this as well. Will it just come down like that, right? Really low? Or is this kind of it right now where it's just going to go up now? Lots of confusion right now in the marketplace. Where on the 30-minute chart, we get a huge candle here, but almost a bullish engulfing candle. It bounced right off of the 55 EMA, but we're now rejecting the 8, 13, and 21. So this is where we're running into problems again, right? We don't have exact confirmation of a trend right now. On the 15-minute chart, rejection to the 8, poking down to the 55. This actually sets us up on the 15-minute chart for a bear run. So the reason why we look through all of these charts one by one is because we want to look for signs of bearish or bullish rejection. So if we're noticing on the 5-minute chart now, which can be used as a trigger chart, is that the bulls are starting to lose control as well. The 5-minute chart simply cannot get above the 55 EMA. In fact, it was rejected very heavily right here. So the question is, will it start downtrending a little bit more before we have a bull run? Is this going to go up to the positive side right now, or is it just going to come right back down? So until we get over at least the 55 EMA, where the yellow line is below all of them, then I will not be really considering entering a long position. I'm in a short position, guys. I don't want to show you my order for once because it's too big. It's a very large position, and right here is where I entered it. As soon as it broke out, I anticipated a break. I saw this rejection right there, and this is where I entered mine at $14,450. So I'm in a really large short position right now, which I will most likely end up closing right away if it goes above here. Now, you got to think about it from the perspective of risk to reward, right? I mean, this was basically my risk to reward right here. To enter a short position, I will stop myself out. I said to myself, I'll stop myself out right around here, and I'll actually target a lower support region right down over here. So my risk to reward was about 2.2, which is great. But now my risk to reward is actually break even. It's already profitable. My risk to reward is almost the negative, you can say, because one, I'm already profitable, and two, if it actually ends up crossing over right over here, most likely case, I'll just make a little profit or just break out even. And I always take these chances where, hey, I'm going to attempt, and then I might break even, I might attempt, lose 1%, I might attempt again, lose another 1%, and then eventually on the very last one, third or fourth one, you know, it'll be a decent risk to reward, and then I will finally profit on that one. So I take many chances as a day trader, and it just comes to eventually getting it right. But what we got to do is always minimize our risk, guys. We want to maximize our top line revenue, and we want to minimize our bottom line expenses and our risk especially. So I feel like I'm in a very good position right now. I didn't want to enter a short, say from up there. People would argue, oh, you could have entered a short from up there, but there weren't really any massive signs of a downtrend confirmation. So let's go now to right here, now that we're done with this one over here. So as you guys can see right now, it's a lot of people are on the fence about what's going on. Let's get my toolbars up here as well. So I hope that you guys are liking this new style of technical analysis where I'm going to look at it from both bulls and bear perspective. So if we actually notice right here, did we actually break that? I don't know if we did. Let's see. Wow. Isn't that crazy, guys? Let's make sure that we've touched these points. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 now. So this is how I knew that this was roughly the top at around $11,750. It's a little scary, right? In terms of how these lines can meet up. This one touches many points over here as well. There, 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 and there. This is a massive solid support right now. Now if I do another parallel line, by the way, if you guys don't know, parallel lines, click on here, you choose 2 points, like here and here, for example, then just drag it down and it makes a parallel line. So you just draw your line first, right? Imagine that as a line, then you click your second point, and then you drag it wherever you want to. that is how you make a parallel line. So this one here, I'll most likely choose it around right there and right here as well. And what we see is lots of parallel lines as well. But we are also trending on a higher support or in a higher range as well of this channel. If you take a look at this right here, we're now trending in this specific range on a higher channel. So not the lower end of the channel, right? So the big question now is, will we actually break above this zone right there? Everybody is probably wondering. If I drew my ABC like this, just A, B, and I drew my C like this right here, I would be taking right here. Let me show you. I gotta get going right away. It's probably 5 in the morning. It's actually long weekend here still, and I'm at my folks for the weekend, so I didn't end up going home. It was just too late, and I'm exhausted, so I gotta get going for breakfast soon, around 7, so gotta hurry up with this. I've got a lot of work to do still. I don't even know what long weekend it is. Oh, Louis Riel, that's right. That was yesterday, but my parents took another day off, so I decided to stay over. My parents are getting old. My parents are like in their late 60s already, so I've been trying to help out a lot more around the house, etc. Because even things like shoveling the snow in winter, it's getting a little bit hard for them. So I've been finding myself here like 2-3 nights a week now. Maybe 4 even sometimes. They've been living in this house for about 20, how long now? 21 years. It's the house that I grew up in. Love it. Home is home, you know? Regardless of where you live, home is home with your parents, and I love that feeling still, especially when I'm at home a lot by myself, and trading can get a little bit dull, you know? And my parents love my dog. They love Luna. It's like their baby, probably more than me. Okay, here we go. If I take my Fibonacci, if we call this B to C, what we're also noticing is that this is a resistance point, right? It's a resistance point right there. And another candle I wanted to point out was that this is basically now a bearish engulfing candle / hanging man. So this actually starts to signal to me that the bulls are losing control maybe, but we also got a lot of mixed signals here, right? For example, that's a bearish engulfing candle, but it only lasted for 1 candle and then eventually continued to the uptrend. So right now, the main things to watch out for is, are we going to break this channel support? Or resistance rather, okay? Are we going to break this resistance? Right here. Double resistance, right? We have a channel inside of a channel. This channel is inside of the bigger channel, and it's also creating another channel since the 16th inside of this one here. So if we just do a very basic type of analysis and we say to ourselves, okay, well, it's meeting 2 channel resistances, one on this sloped one going this side as well, and it's also hitting the 0.5 Fibonacci level right now. It's obviously offering a lot of resistance. If we notice right here on the 382 side, I'm going to actually take out the background, I don't like that. If we look at it going up, right, we met a lot of resistance at the 382 range coming up, went up to right there, and then we bounced off of the 382 region. And now we're fighting. The bulls and the bears are fighting right here to see who's going to gain control. The volume is still pretty high on a high time frame, but if you look at it on a low time frame, the volume is actually slowly diminishing. If you look at the moving average, what you'll see is it's slowly coming down here. So I am actually seeing more bearish signs than bullish signs right now. See, if you actually look right here as well, the 55 moving average, we're now rejecting not even the 55 anymore. We're rejecting the 8, 13, and the 21 moving average. So that's why I entered a short from right around here. Now guys, just because I say I've entered a short, it does not give you the right to enter a short with me. You got to always remember that, okay? Because I manage my position very differently from the perspective of risk. If you guys are not familiar with how to enter and how to manage your positions with risk by shedding, by adding, by reducing, etc., you're not going to be able to copy any of my trades, okay guys? It is simply not possible to copy a trader if they know what they're doing. Okay, that's why I don't post on sites where you guys can copy my trades like eToro or whatever it's called, okay? Because I just think people will be set up for disaster right there. And those kind of sites, guys, I don't think there are people who are actually making money from trading, put it that way. There are people who just want you guys to copy them, and they play a decent enough position. They play in a very conservative way for you guys to actually copy them, and a lot of their money comes from those kinds of sites, right? So yeah, if I focus on making money for myself in the market by doing what I need to do to manage risk. So please don't ever copy any buy and sell signals. Please don't ever go for buy and sell signals. That is the most disastrous way for you guys to end up losing your money. So I ask myself, even on a 5-minute chart right now, is this a bear flag, right? Is that simply a bear flag right here? And the answer is most likely. Looks like it. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? An inverted bear flag. Just like that. I can't help but think that right now, that it's eventually going to fall down a little bit. But, guys, don't discount it for a moment that we might not be done this uptrend. For all we know, we have to look out for these key regions. Is it going to break above the higher high? The highest high right now has been 11,660, right? Are we going to increase in volume a little bit? So these are just some key things to watch out for. If I go to, for example, a weekly chart, okay? Let's clear all this up now. If I go to a weekly chart, where is the next relevant resistance? Probably right around this range, right here, 12,190. That's a key resistance point right there. But what I see is almost free air. If I just take a look at the weekends, right? I see almost free air all the way to 13,500. So if I go back to a daily here, yeah, there's really not that much resistance here. So now I'm looking to see if it's actually going to break that channel support first, which I will get back on here. Looking to see if it's going to break this channel support and this one as well on the 4-hour. I don't know why I deleted that to begin with, sorry. And my fib level of 0.5. So those are the key things right now. If we end up breaking this region right there, the next critical point for us to have to break is right around here where I mentioned earlier, around 12,200 range. It's like, did I get that right? It's not even that major of a resistance, to be honest, like right around here. So this is going to be a little resistance area where this yellow line is right there. And then after that, it's almost free air and we can just simply run up. So first key resistance is still right around here at the 11,750 range. And then the next one is about, let's go to the weekly again actually. Let's go to the high of this candle. 12,190, okay? Yeah, definitely 12,190. And then this zone in here is basically free run all the way up there, I'd say. Not really that much resistance. I'm sorry if I said earlier lots of resistance. There's really none in here. If we end up breaking 12,000, or first of all, 11,750, and then we break above 12,000, sorry, I'm saying that wrong. If we break above 11,750, and then we actually shoot for around the 12,190 range, the high of this candle, we're basically just going to make a run up to 13,500 range or to 13,300 range. So these are some key things that I'm watching for right now. If we don't, then what will end up happening is we're going to correct, right? So is this an actual wave up right here? It's very hard to count from an Elliott wave perspective right now. So, you know, that's 1, 2, that's 3. Where's 4? If that was 4, okay, I accept that I was wrong. And this is actually very bullish then. then we only retrace to roughly 236 level. And where's 5, right? 5 is to be determined because from an Elliott wave perspective, it's simply just not possible to count right now. It really is incredibly difficult to count, nor will I actually try. But if I, you know what, I will try. If I did have to try though, that could have been 1, 2, this could have been 3, who knows, this could have been 4, and that could have been 5 already. And now we've begun, right? So just some things to consider as well. So anyways, I just want to give you guys my thoughts for both bulls and bears. I apologize if it's not the answer you guys are looking for. I'd rather just perform a technical analysis from both the bulls and the bears side. This way, you know, in case something goes wrong, you guys don't hold me accountable, etc. And I'm just giving you guys my thoughts of different scenarios. So yes, I am in a short position right now, but I'm definitely thinking of closing my position right now because I'm indecisive in the market. And I don't really have a general gauge of what's going on other than they're definitely fighting on both sides. If you look at the longs versus shorts, say on a 30-minute chart, what you guys will notice is it's actually negatively correlated right now, right? Take a look at it. The longs are definitely getting liquidated. It's getting very low. The shorts are getting really high. So does that mean that the shorts right now are squeezing the long positions? Right? If we look at it from the 17th, it's gone up from 9,000 Bitcoin to 17,000. If we look at it from the 17th, the long positions have actually gone down 7,000 as well. So there's a lot of questions that leaves me to wonder what the heck is going on and who's going to win. So if we actually ended up uptrending once again, we're going to go to about the 12,200 ranges. If we break 12,200, 300 around there, we're probably going to shoot for about the 13.3K regions, right? So if we end up falling to a support zone, most likely we'll fall to one of these lower zones first. And of course, the second lower super low zone is around the 10,300 ranges right here. So anyways, I just want to leave you guys with my thoughts. Once again, I apologize if it's not what you're looking for, but because there's a lot of indecision in the market, it also leaves me to be indecisive. I'm going to go close my long position, or sorry, my short position right now. Yeah, and sorry, I was just looking at it quickly. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. Make sure you upvote it on Steemit. I would really appreciate that. And make sure you also follow me on YouTube and on Twitter. Have yourselves a great day, baby whales, and we'll talk sometime later today. Bye now.